Welcome to this edition of the SKNIS Week in Review, where we recap major activities of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Coming up, activities commemorating the 35th anniversary of independence gain momentum. PM Harris urges patience as Integrity Commission begins work. 5th Explorers Club launched, and leather craft makers from St. Kitts and from Nevis hone their skills. These stories and more are next on the SKNIS Week in Review for the period September 7 to 13, 2018. Hello and welcome, I'm Ian Richards. Members of the Federal Cabinet took to the road on Wednesday as part of traditional activities for the 35th anniversary of independence. The Cabinet traveled in two separate groups to ensure that they visited schools in the rural parts of St. Kitts. The message to the children centered around the theme for the anniversary celebrations, which is love, service, patriotism and pride, Independence 35. Here is an excerpt of the presentation made by Honorable Eugene Hamilton at the Keyon High School.
As I wish you happy 35th anniversary of independence, I want you to recognize again, this nation is a free nation. This nation calls for each of you to give up your best, because tomorrow, any one of you can lead this nation in the same way that Dr. Harris, from a poor family in Tabernacle, came to this school and has risen to the point of Prime Minister in this country.
Another activity held this week as part of the anniversary celebrations was the Prime Minister's Independence Lecture Series. Distinguished local attorney Anthony E. Gonzalez, QC, encouraged an all-hands-on-deck approach to enhancing the quality of life for citizens and residents in St. Kitts and Nevis. He made the point during his presentation as the featured speaker at the annual Prime Minister's Independence Lecture Series held at the Sir Cecil Jacobs Auditorium of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank on Wednesday.
The contribution of each and every individual, regardless of his level of education, social standing, or the size of his bank account, is vital to the success of our nation, and it is important that we recognize this. We need to ensure that we bring home to each and every citizen the valuable role he or she plays in our country's success by the work he or she performs, no matter how small it may seem in the grand scheme of things.
Work crews were busy this week at the National Heroes Park, mounting tents, tending to the lawn, preparing the Welcome Center, and completing other tasks in preparation for the National Heroes Day ceremony, which takes place on Monday, September 17 this year. We stopped by the park on Tuesday and caught up with Osbert D'Souza, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, who spearheads the park's development. Mr. D'Souza said Monday's ceremony that pays tribute to the late Right Excellencies Sir Robert L. Bradshaw, Sir C.A. Paul Southwell, Sir Joseph N. France, and Sir Simeon Daniel, as well as Dr. the Right Excellent and Right Honorable Sir Kennedy A. Simmons, the only living national hero, will be an occasion to remember.
I want to take this opportunity to invite the general public to be a part of the ceremony. National Heroes Day, it's a one-off. We will be unveiling the statues of the 5 national heroes. And as I said, it's going to happen only once, so you should be here to be a part of history. The ambience and the physical appearance of the park has been much enhanced from the last National Heroes Day. I think we will all be very impressed with the layout of the parade square, the fact that we have been able over the last year to have quite a bit of ornamental plants going in the park, and it's a totally different physical appearance to what we had in 2016 and in 2017.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris is calling for the public to be patient as it relates to the processes related to the Integrity in Public Life legislation that was passed on May 3rd and came into effect on July 11. As a requirement of the Act, an Integrity Commission, chaired by Damian Kelsick, was recently established. During a media appearance on Monday, Prime Minister Harris said that government did its part in passing the legislation, and now the Integrity Commission must be given time to carry out their duties.
The Commission has persons who are eminently qualified for their role, in my view. Let the commissioners do their work. There are certain things that this government will not do because they are for the Commission to do and to recommend to the government that certain things be done. The Commission must be given space and time to get its operations together and to develop its own mode of operating, communicate that to the public, get the support of the public for its particular approach, and then we move on.
St. Kitts and Nevis passport holders can now qualify for a visa renewal interview waiver if their previous visa was expired within the past 12 months and they are applying for the same visa category as their previous visa. The announcement was made earlier this week by the United States Embassy in Barbados and came into effect on September 10. The statement importantly notes that applicants who acquired St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship via an economic citizenship program and all third country nationals will still be required to schedule visa interviews for visa renewals. Eligibility for interview waiver does not automatically entitle applicants to a waiver of the interview requirement. Now, to find out more, be sure to visit their website. Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris described the announcement as a pivotal moment for diplomacy, as it is indicative of the much improved relationship and goodwill between the United States and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Theodore Brown, chairman of the local organizing committee for the ICT, which is Information and Communication Technology, Week of Activities, appeared on this week's edition of Working for You to promote the upcoming ICT Week that will be held at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort later this month. Mr. Brown expounded on the chosen theme, 21st Century Government, Enhancing Connections, Accelerating Progress.
21st century government is to bring, more or less, so to speak, everything under one roof, where you won't have to run from ministry to ministry to get one or two papers signed. Everything will be paperless and one ICT space, so everything can be done on the spur of the moment by the click of a finger. Also enhancing connections, the whole idea of connectivity around the region to make sure that everyone is in tune and everyone can be ready when this ICT space come into being. At the same time, we try to make sure that connectivity is available, everyone is capable in using the internet, how to use the internet, and also accelerating progress, because the progress that we will be seeing, it has to be accelerated.
Parents, guardians, and adults in general were reminded of the transformational impact of spending meaningful time with children during the launch of the Cayon Explorers, the fifth such youth club in St. Kitts and Nevis to be formed. At a launching ceremony held at the Cayon Primary School on Saturday, Woman Police Constable Nikisha Thomas of the Community Policing Team appealed to parents to become familiar with their children's friends, know where they hang out, and what they do when they are away from home. Creating opportunities to engage with their children was another key point.
Some parents, many of them lack to give their children the attention they so rightfully need. Sometimes you're tired. You come home from work, you're tired, but they need the attention. Some parents don't even know when last they told their children, I love you. These children want for this affection. And even your dog or cat, when you don't pet it or give it the attention, it looks for it elsewhere. So we have to stop the cycle. We have to make sure we show our children the love that they so rightfully need, show them the attention, give them the affection, so they have no need to look for it elsewhere.
Approximately 20 leather crafters from St. Kitts and Nevis participated in a week-long leather craft training workshop designed to advance the development and integration of creative products using leather. Two experts from Colombia guided the enhancement of the participants' technical skills during the workshop organized by the Ministry of Tourism. Minister of Tourism Honorable Lindsay Grant said the training is in line with the strategic objectives of the ministry to enhance the number of products made in St. Kitts.
There is no doubt that there is a strong need for authentic, unique, very well made and reasonably priced local craft. These are the additional dimensions that sharpen our competitive edge and add to our appeal as a destination that is proud of our culture and of our heritage.
That's all for this edition of the SKNIS Week in Review. I'm Ian Richards.